Alright, I had to pull over to make this video, and it's about very important pricing. If you're running an under-the-radar landscaping business, which is a tough thing to do because you're probably scared and nervous and you can't sleep at night and you're afraid, that's probably normal feelings, right? I remember my first year in the business running under the radar, and then little by little it got more and more legit. Actually, the second spring I was able to backdate and pay all the taxes, so I've always paid all my taxes. I didn't have general liability or work comp, or I was pretty much solo when I first started. But I want to talk about pricing here. Just trust me, stick with me for a minute, because I'm going to talk about things that you don't hear people talk about on YouTube. The goal is you want to just get as legit as you can, as fast as you can, so you're a fully licensed, insured business, and you've got all that stuff. But in the very beginning, you might not be able to afford to do that. I'm just calling it the way it is. It's an uphill battle, because every time you feel like you've leveled up and you can take a breath, okay, I've got this thing, well, you ain't even gotten started yet. If you have fears around the cost associated with work comp, payroll, taxes, like, those fears are real, and I'm not trying to discourage you. I want to encourage you by talking about it. You might have stayed up at night doing math saying, oh my God, if I went fully above board, fully legit, we would go out of business. We wouldn't be able to afford to eat. And a lot of businesses, from what I learned behind the scenes, because I'm friends with business coaches, is that as soon as they try to scale their business in many different ways, sometimes the entire business implodes because there's just not enough capital and the pricing isn't right. That means the market, like, it causes a whole chain reaction where the train goes off the tracks and the whole business implodes. It's scary. And if you've upgraded your lifestyle and you've went out and bought a brand new truck and got a nice house and started doing all these things and blowing money before having the right things in order, then I'll give you an example right now in this video. I just had to call back a lady. My wife is actually working in the office, answering the phone and doing the scheduling again for the business, and I really like it. She does a great job. She's awesome. She still has her business, by the way, but she's helping out, and she's like, hey, we just gave a quote to this lady on Jobber you did last week, and she was wondering why the mulch wasn't included in the quote, as if you forgot to just put the mulch in. You gave the lady the price for the mulch, but forgot to say mulch. And I'm on the phone with my wife saying, well, actually, I got caught up talking to the customer, and this happens once in a while. I forgot about the mulch altogether. I think the lady just kind of mentioned it in passing. I think the lady actually said, yeah, and I want to do some mulch here. And I was thinking that after we did the spring cleanup, which is my fault, I didn't clarify, because we never talked about mulch ever again. And so she thought mulch was just going to get done. That's what happens when you give quotes and when you communicate. You have to be really clear and ask. I could make a whole nother video on that, but when you got a lot of quotes, sometimes you miss stuff, right? But I had realized something, and that the lady thought and built an expectation in her head for the price of a $780 spring cleanup, which is pretty expensive for your standard 2-story suburban house, right? There's quite a bit of cleanup, but if you were charging $100 or $150 for a spring cleanup, unless you're just blowing out the beds real quick, going over it, sucking it up with mowers, and you're off to the next one and you're banging them out, that makes perfect sense, right? But I'm talking about a full spring cleanup. If you're thinking in your head and you're doing the math, oh my God, the amount of money I would have to charge for this spring cleanup, I wouldn't even get any spring cleanups, because the customers would be like, my lawn care guy before did it for $100. What do you mean you're going to charge me $350? I'm doing the math off of man-hour rates at, what are we at? $120 an hour for 2 guys. It was $780. I'm just doing the math divided by 100. It's $60 a man-hour. You'd want to do more. You'd want to do $100 on a man-hour. You see people all the time online talking or bragging about, we do 240 a man-hour or 120, and then some other guy would be like, we do 42, like the totally different video, but this is the minimum of what I got to do to make it work. So 6.5 hours for this spring cleanup, $780. I'm sorry, it was there was debris removal costs in there, which is now $60 per yard. So I think it was $720 for the spring cleanup, and then $60 for the debris removal. And that was a full spring cleanup, front and back, blowing out all the beds, raking everything out, and then also trimming overgrowth off the fence. So when I gave the lady the quote, she was like a very nice older lady, and I said, I just had the feeling, I was just transparent. I go, you might be a little sticker shock, but you should never say that to a customer. I just feel bad charging people this, and I make a 35.5% profit margin, and I'm in the business. I'm doing quotes, I'm in the field a lot, I'm all over the business. I'm working, right? So I'm collecting a check on payroll. So when I told the lady $780 for the spring cleanup, she goes, oh, it's a lot, but okay, let's get it done. I was like, all right, that's what it costs. So it's not like there's a part of you when you're a business owner that once you are fully above board, you start to feel bad. You feel like, oh my God, do these customers think I'm greedy or a scam artist or a ripoff? Do they actually understand? Because how much it really costs to do business, they probably don't. And if they've had see, landscaping and lawn care is a low barrier to entry business. If you got a pickup truck and you can get a mower and a weed whip or some tarps, you can go start a business. That's how I did it. So if the customers are used to seeing those prices of, they don't really know if their previous landscaper was licensed and insured and all this. 1 second, my wife's calling. Hello?
To go ahead and do the job, but she wants to make sure that the mulch is the price. She wants to confirm the price of the mulch. And then I said we're going to resend her a new quote.
Okay. Can you call her back and tell her I'll be back there? I'll be there in a half an hour to give her a requote, and I'll also give her a discount for being so kind.
Okay, I'll call her back then.
Okay. All right. Bye.
All right. Love you.
Love you. Okay. So I was like, oh my God. So the lady wants her quote fixed, but she thought and I told my wife, I'm like, I'm just gonna call her back and apologize and ask her what she wants to do and maybe gently decline the whole job altogether, because I don't ever want to be perceived as a contractor who is upsetting the customer or anything like that. And so I called the lady back. I said, I'm very sorry. We got to talking. It was just a mistake. I didn't add mulch at all. She goes, oh my God, how much is it gonna be? I said, well, it's 100. Last year it was 120 per yard installed. That means a customer pays 120 bucks, a yard of mulch appears installed on the property. Now it's $145 per yard installed. I've made videos about this and people say like, oh my God, that's so cheap. We charge $200 a yard where I'm at. I'm like, that's insane. And then there's other people in the comments going, you charge $120 per yard? We do it for $80 a yard. I don't know where you're at or what your business is. I got to charge $145 per yard installed. I don't know how much mulch you've installed in your life. I've done thousands of yards of mulch. Maybe you've done thousands of yards. That doesn't include bed prep. But once you put when you're pitchforking the mulch and around the plants and making it clean and it's you can do it fast, but it's also tedious work and it's time consuming. I got a dump trailer. I go get the mulch. I used to have it delivered all the time, but now I just get it because the timing, you can control it more. But anyways, I tell the lady the price and she's like, oh my God, so it's gonna be like another $500 to $600 for mulch too? She's like, I just can't afford that. Now, I'm not giving you any personal information about the client. You have no idea who the client's. I would never say anything just for the record, right? I'm just giving you an example to help newbie landscapers, right? And I said, I know it's outrageously expensive. I'm sorry, and I agree with you. She goes, yeah, well, I was hoping in my head, I'm thinking like, you can hope all you want, but, and not in a mean way, I'm not saying this, but I'm thinking in my head to the customer, because when you've been in this game long enough, here's what happens. I know I'm jumping around, but hang with me. Here's what happens in your first, second, third year, fourth year of the business. You say, that's it. This year, I'm sticking to my guns. This year, I'm charging this much for the mulch. If the customer says no, then that's what it is, because I have to make money to feed my family, because I want to be able to have an IRA and retire one day too. I want to grow my business too. Then what happens is when the jobs don't come in and the customers start saying no to your new higher price, you get scared. What happens when you get scared? You cave. You cave and you do it for the old price. You cave and you keep doing the customer because you're terrified of losing that customer. But once you have enough momentum in the game, you got a lot of positive reviews out there, the phone's ringing, you have data that shows you that phone's going to keep ringing, and you know that everything's going to be okay if you don't take every job. You stick to your guns, and sometimes it's smart to give the customer a discount and go in and get it done. You got to get work, right? You got to keep your finger on the pulse of this thing, right? But by no means should you ever lose money or work for free, obviously. So I told the lady, I'm sorry, and I agree with you, and it was just a mistake, and yes, it's going to be a little bit more. So she's okay, well, I'll go find somebody else. So we're not going to do the job now. Fine. The lady was very nice, but financially speaking, if you're in business so you can first take care of your customers and provide a great service to the community, all the good stuff, but you also need to make a profit so you can take care of your family, so you can save for retirement, so you can grow your business, so you can live a happy, healthy life too. If you're doing landscaping and you're not making enough profit to have an above board business, so you can actually hire like legitimate employees and you can maybe get to the point where you're just selling jobs where your employees are working, or grow your business. And if it's not all legit and the pricing isn't right, you're not going to be able to sleep at night. And if something happens, you could lose your whole business. You could lose everything. So this is serious shit. This is very serious, right? And it comes down to these individual, difficult conversations that happen moment by moment in the moment, right? And you don't just get good at this overnight. Some of the guys on YouTube that I see that have these multi-million-dollar landscape businesses, they literally just get in the game and go right up quick. They're so confident, it's amazing to me. I wasn't that confident. I don't still think I'm that confident. Tony Robbins said the quality of your life is directly proportional to the amount of uncertainty you can comfortably live with. And it comes down to promises, your integrity. When you're going out making big promises to people, to customers, to employees who have families, customers, you're installing all and doing all this landscaping, and to your personal family as well, you're putting your ass on the line and you're signing on the dotted line all over the place with your word and your integrity. You mean to do well, you want to do good, but you can make all that happen if you have the infrastructure and the systems in place and the accountability measures in place and the pricing is right. And if the money's there, a lot of that stuff doesn't have to be a living hell. It's not as scary when you have, if you're gonna have a big a party, right? You're gonna have pizza and pop and subs and sandwiches and chips and dip and everybody's coming, and you order more than enough food and you got tables and chairs and 30 people are coming over, and you're totally calm and confident in the fact that everybody's gonna have more than enough to eat. It's not an issue, correct? You were in abundance. But if you were like, it got two nickels to rub together and you can only afford 2 small pizzas and 30 people are gonna show up and you don't know what to do, and you're open up cans of beans and shit, and you'd be freaking out because now all these people are gonna be looking at you. Then why the hell would you invite all those people to a party if you don't have enough food to feed them? So some of the people that just blow up in business, they have this abundant mindset where they have a vision where they can just see abundance, and they just know the shit's gonna work, right? To me, I think it's, I think about monkey bars in the fog. I always think about this. You're in the fog, you're crossing monkey bars, and there comes a point where you can't see the next monkey bar because it's foggy. Like, I'll swing, and I ain't letting go of this monkey bar. But I ain't letting go of that shit until my hand is on the next monkey bar, because I've been traumatized, right? So when I can feel the next monkey bar, all right, it's there. I can't see it, but I can feel it. Now I'll let go of this monkey bar and I'll swing to the next one. And I've made progress. Slow and steady wins the race. These motherfuckers I see on YouTube, these dudes, they're swinging like fourth, they just let go. They're letting go, swinging like Indiana Jones and shit. Got it. And they swing to the next one and they're just like making millions. And some people aren't comfortable with that level of risk. Here's my point. Get scientific about your pricing. Get mathematical. Do the math. Find out what's your break-even point. How much money do you gotta make off this? How much money do you wanna make off this? What are the numbers? The numbers don't lie, and stick to the numbers. Find it out for you. What do you gotta do? And then get good at marketing and advertising. Always be marketing, sharing your business on social media, following up with customers. Fucking 50 videos about this stuff. I'll put some links in the description below. So you feel confident that next monkey bar is gonna be there, so you don't feel trapped and stuck doing work for much lower prices than you deserve, let alone prices that don't even afford you to have a legitimate business. All right, have a great day. I hope you crush it. I'm here to encourage you. I hope that served you, and I hope that you just do phenomenal. One thing I love about the landscaping business is if you're doing maintenance. If you drop the deck too low and you scalp somebody's lawn and destroy like a whole strip of lawn, it can grow back, or you can fix it. If you over trim a bush, or an employee over trims something and just destroys the customer's boxwood bush, it's not the end of the world. It's just a bush. You're not doing brain surgery, or you're not like repairing somebody's, you're not doing surgery. It's a forgiving business. We do window cleaning too. If you leave a streak on someone's window, you can go back and fix it. It's the perfect business to learn entrepreneurship and get in. There's never-ending evolving lessons. So that's what I like about it. It's dealing with equipment, and injuries is definitely risky. That's why man, I can make 100 videos about this stuff. I gotta go do this quote.